Kamala Harris and Tim Walz have done three huge events, one in Philadelphia, one in Wisconsin, in Michigan. And I know today they're meeting with a bunch of union leaders. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has not been seen. So while Kamala is doing amazing in polls recently in the past 2 weeks with a huge surge, she's doing huge events with 10, 20, 30,000 people. Trump is in his basement doing phone calls. And now Trump called a random press conference today. So that's what this is that we're going to go through and react to. I'm sure the answers are going to be very direct. Very good answers expected. Very detailed about the job of the U.S. presidency, guaranteed.
Just a statement before I talk about debates. I think that our country is right now in the most dangerous position it's ever been in from an economic standpoint, from a safety standpoint.
Dude, right off the bat, Trump is already coming in with this message of, negativity. We're in danger. This country's falling apart. Like, that message, I don't know if that's going to really work. Right away, he starts off with that. It's
both
insane.
Gangs on the street and, frankly, gangs outside of our country in the form of other countries that are, frankly, very powerful. They're very powerful countries, and we don't know what we're doing. We have leadership that has no clue how to handle them or how to handle any other situation. We have a...
He's really just trying to make people mad and scared. Like, we already knew that, but holy crap, it's so direct.
We have a lot of bad things coming up. You could end up in a depression of the 1929 variety, which would be a devastating thing. Took many years, took decades to recover from it. And we're very close to that, and we're very close to a world war.
Of a 1929 variety. We're also close to a world war.
In my opinion, we're very close to a world war. We have people that don't know how to handle it. They're not respected. All over the world, they're laughed at.
Literally, it's the meme. We're all gonna die. There's gangs infiltrating America. All of your jobs are being taken. Your children are being transed. Your kids are gonna be turned gay by the liberals. World War III is gonna start. We're gonna have a 1929 Great Depression. They don't even hide it. And this is why the Kamala Harris campaign, is doing so well. Because the idea of hopeful, optimistic, hard work for the future is so much more enjoyable and so much more productive. And it's a better movement to be a part of than whatever this is, which is just being mad and bitter.
And we can't have that. Most dangerous period of time I've ever seen for our country. With that being said, we have somebody that hasn't received one vote for president, and she's running, and that's fine with me. But we were given Joe Biden, and now we're given somebody else. And I think, frankly, I'd rather be running against the somebody else. But that was their choice. They decided to do that because Kamala's record is horrible. She's a radical left person at a level that nobody's seen.
Yeah, I agree, Bishop. Be afraid, be very afraid. And what he just said doesn't make any sense. He's being very, you can't really understand because he's not making much sense right now.
She picked a radical left.
Literally everything you can say about Biden speaking, you can say about Donald Trump. But Trump has more ways to hide that he doesn't know what he's talking about. Or when Trump loses his train of thought or is unable to pronounce words. Right now he's confused about very basic statements.
Man, that is, he's got things done that he has positions that are just not, it's not even possible to believe that they exist. He's going for things that nobody's ever even heard of. Heavy into the transgender world, heavy into lots of different worlds having to do with safety. He doesn't want to have borders. He doesn't want to have walls. He doesn't want to have any form of safety for our country. He doesn't mind people coming in from prisons, and neither does she, I guess, because she couldn't care less. She's the border czar. By the way, she was the border czar.
You can notice right now, when he's communicating these ideas, he's assuming everyone listening is on Twitter or Truth Social because a lot of the stories he's telling and the narratives are from those websites and from right-wing bubbles. And this was my theory from a few weeks ago, is that the right-wing bubble is getting so bad. They are struggling to appeal to literally anyone who is not in their base now. They have zero idea on what's happening on the outside. And Trump's presenting all of these points without backing it up with a narrative. So if you don't already know all of these conspiracy theories and stories, then Trump's making zero sense to anyone watching, which is why we need him on TV. This is good.
This horrible culture that is developing a culture of no common sense. It's really a culture of no common
Horrible
sense, and
culture
it's
of
not
no
what
common
anyone
sense.
wants. We want to have a safe country. We want to have a strong military. We want low interest rates, and we want to be able to have the American dream. We want to be able to have our youth be able to buy homes, housing, get good jobs.
I love how the right-wing attack for the past few weeks has been Kamala not doing interviews and not having any policies to run on. And this is a big thing that I've been saying in my videos. Like, this is not an interview. I know he's just giving his opening statements here, but when he's talking to the media, he's making no sense. He has not made one point so far, and they have not ran on policies for 8 years. You know, Trump's been president and has been running for president for over 8 years, and we still don't know what a Donald Trump healthcare plan is, because the only policy he has is whatever's popular, number one, and also whatever's anti-Democrat.
And we're really just at the opposite right now. It's so sad to see. But as a border czar, she's been the worst border czar in history, in the world history. I think the numbers
In the world history.
20 million, but whether it's 15 or 20, it's numbers that nobody's ever heard before. 20 million people came over the border during the Biden-Harris administration. 20 million people, and it could be very much higher than that. Nobody really knows what the number is. Nobody knows. Nobody has a clue.
Nobody knows. Nobody.
And the gotaways, they call them the gotaways. The gotaways are at numbers. Somebody was quizzing me on it the other day. No, I don't think so, sir. I don't think so. They have no idea what those numbers are, but they're much higher than you would think. Just like far more people were killed in the Ukraine-Russia war than you ever report. Just like the October 7th would have never happened.
What are you talking about?
Russia would have never hit Ukraine
October 7th
had the election result been called differently. It was a very bad call, but Russia would not have attacked Ukraine. October 7th in Israel would have never happened. You wouldn't have inflation. A lot of great things would have happened.
He's just saying things. Like, he's just saying things.
But now you have millions and millions of dead people, and you have people dying financially because they can't buy bacon, they can't buy food, they can't buy groceries,
they can't buy
bacon,
do anything. Dude. Not bacon.
And they're living horribly in our country right now. With all of that being said, I think it's very important to have debates, and we've agreed with Fox on a date of September 4th. We've agreed with NBC, fairly full agreement, subject to them, on September 10th. And we've agreed with ABC on September 25th.
I love whenever there's a Trump debate scheduled, it's like Trump has agreed to a debate and no one else was involved in the conversations. Meanwhile, other debates that are scheduled, Trump can just ignore, and all of the right-wing puppetry will follow.
So we have those 3 dates. And
Kamala's actually the scared one,
those networks,
not Trump.
They're very anxiously awaiting
We've
that
agreed
date
to a debate that no one else knew about.
So we have September 4th, September 10th, and September 25th.
And by the way, no Democrat, no anyone should be going on Fox News. You should not be having a debate on a company that just settled for like $1 billion because they lied about the election. They had to fire Tucker Carlson and have a huge settlement because they openly lied about a Democratic election.
We have spoken to the heads of the network, and it's all been confirmed, other than some fairly minor details. Audience, some location, which city would we put it into,
dude.
but all things that will be settled very easily.
He's got to keep
I think
talking.
it'll be very easy. The other side has to agree to the terms. They may or may not agree. I don't know if they're going to agree. She hasn't done an interview. She can't do an interview. She's barely competent, and she can't do an interview. But I look forward to the debates because I think we have to set the record straight. Why is it that millions of people were allowed to come into our country from prisons?
Yeah, I agree, Keith. They are cringing. It's actually kind of sad that Trump isn't dropping below 45% in more polls, because looking at the 2 campaigns, if there's not a huge shift in the next 3 weeks with how bad Trump is doing and how good the Kamala campaign is, I'm going to be really depressed about
from
America
jails,
in
from
general.
mental institutions, insane asylums, even insane.
The fact so many people think Trump is that much better on the economy, that they think he's better at a 3-2 rate versus Kamala, is absolutely wild, especially because he gives no economic policies or anything. And I mean, we expect this, but it's just still depressing whenever it happens.